What is going on? Welcome back to the Underdog Investor Audio Experience. My name is Colin, and today I want to talk about security. It's not a very sexy topic, but it is a very important piece to this whole puzzle here, right? You worked so hard for the capital that you've earned, and now you're investing it. You're investing it in crypto and DeFi, but we got to make sure we keep it safe. And on our accelerator call last night, we talked about Maria, Dino, Justin, and I. We're all talking about different ways that we can, keep our assets safe. We can keep good practices, best practices, and good habits to get into to just make sure that everything is buttoned up tight. So I'll give you three things. I'll give you three things that you should probably, integrate into your system or into your habit stack for when it comes to DeFi investing. Number one is setting up a test wallet. This is something that Dito and I are bouncing back and forth on that call, is having a wallet that is very specifically used just to test different protocols prior to you actually deploying capital is a really wise move. Reason being is that if you are exploring a new protocol or a new platform and you are wanting to deposit capital, we want to make sure that that capital is invested in a platform that actually works as you expect it to. And so by using a test amount, it allows you to explore new contracts, new platforms without the risk of losing your investment capital. And I've heard horror stories about that. So that was one of the things that Dino said that he when he implemented that, that was a massive way to separate his investment capital with his sort of exploration itch that he has, right? So that's number one. Number two is we want to make sure that we send small test amounts through first, right? Whenever we are entering a smart contract, meaning deploying capital, right? If I'm wanting to get into a liquidity pool that's on Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, I want to provide liquidity so that I can earn some of the trading fees that go back and forth as people swap those assets. Well, I have to deposit that capital into the platform. And if this is a new platform that I've never used before, well, I want to make sure that I am testing out that contract, but before deploying the larger amounts of capital that I want to put in. And so by doing a small test amount, we can just confirm that it works as we expect it to. Same concept applies when we're sending assets from our centralized exchange to our hot wallet, or our hot wallet back to our centralized exchange, or if we're swapping or bridging assets from one chain to another, we want to make sure that these are working exactly as we expect them to. So doing a small test amount, meaning, just sending $1 worth of that asset through to confirm that it works as you expect it to, can save you a lot of headaches and a lot of money and time. And again, I've heard many horror stories of people losing upwards of $40,000 sending assets to the wrong wallet or to sending it to their centralized exchange, but they sent it on the wrong chain, and the centralized exchange couldn't accept it, and so it was just gone. It's in the ethos, right? And so again, just take your time, create a small, create a test wallet. Number one. Number two is to send small test amounts through. And then number three is to make sure we are revoking smart contract permissions. Okay, this one's a little bit more technical, but we want to make sure that we are getting rid of the permissions that we are giving to smart contracts. Okay, let's dive into this a little bit more. So whenever we are wanting to deposit capital or interact with a smart contract, meaning, that example I just gave of providing liquidity into Uniswap inside of their liquidity pool, well, that smart contract has to have permission to access the funds inside of your wallet. And this is a very necessary move. Like in DeFi, when we're interacting with different decentralized platforms, that's actually a good thing, right? If all those platforms just had access to our capital, that's a big security risk. And so for us to intentionally give a smart contract permission, that's a good security piece that's included in this process. But with that, if there's any hacks or any malicious code that pops up along the way, and sort of exploits that smart contract, and we still have permission, if the smart contract still has permission to access the funds in our wallet, that's not a good thing, right? Because again, if that smart contract has an exploit and somebody hacks it to try to access the funds that are in your wallet, if you still have that permission alive, that's a security risk. So making sure that we're including a good habit of revoking contract permissions is a really wise move as well. And you can do that on revoke.cash. That's a place that I like to go to. And I had an AMA with their founder there, Roscoe. Great guy, really, really smart guy. And yeah, so again, that's just a good habit to get into to make sure that you are, doing some housekeeping and just making sure um, that your interaction with the smart contracts are tight. So again, number one, we want to set up a test wallet so we can do exploration without worrying about our investment capital. That's number one. Number two is to send small test amounts through first to confirm that everything works as it should. And number three, revoking smart contract permissions. If we can do those three things, you'll be well on your way to keep your assets and investments safe and secure. So with that being said, hop back in the UIG and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.